Hey everybody, it's Saturday, March 8th, 2014. My name is Colin. I was crippled by Cipro in September of 2011. It's been, about 2 2/3 years. So whatever time it's been since then, and I feel like as far as my knees and my legs and my arms, there's been some slight improvement in them. The main problem I have now is, in case you don't know, while I was on this antibiotic poison, I developed a freakish spasm inside my body. It's very hard to explain. It's somewhere in my pelvic floor, which are the muscles inside. They're internal muscles that you use for, I don't know, they support your pelvic floor and, going to the bathroom, and I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I know it's somewhere in there. As far as I know, a nerve, cartilage, a tendon can't twitch. It's impossible. A muscle has to be twitching because a muscle is what you feel, I mean, not what you feel, but as far as I understand it, cartilage and tendons are just like attachments that are, there's nerves in them, but the nerves control the muscles. Maybe I'm wrong. This is as far as I know, only a muscle can twitch. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody out there. But while I was on this antibiotic, among all the other things, the depression and the weakness and the messed up joints and the suicidal thoughts, and basically I just lost my whole world, and I just was just destroyed. Like my job, my career, my friends, where I lived, all my future and everything. Aside from that, I don't want to talk about that. That's all the other videos. The main problem, the main thing that I think is holding me down is this twitch, and this is just a theory that I have. Is I went to a chiropractor yesterday, and because I've been having this pain in my neck, like my vertebrae, like biggest vertebrae in your neck, right next to it on the right side, I'll feel like, it feels like something's like crawling underneath it, and then I'll feel like this sting, like somebody's like pricking me with a needle, or it will just like have this really kind of sharp ache. So I know that's not normal. I went to the chiropractor, and he adjusted me, and they did all their little things, and he said my vertebrae looked okay. So I'm pretty sure it's not like my vertebrae crushing a nerve or anything. It has nothing to do with my bones. It's a nerve issue, and when you think nerve issues, that points to Cipro, nerve damage. I don't know enough about it, but my theory is that your nerves have a myelin sheath on them. It's like insulation on a wire. And Cipro destroys a lot of that insulation. It's my theory. So you become more prone to nerve damage. That is nerve damage, when you start destroying the sheaths and stuff. And when that happens, I think your nerves aren't supposed to be in contact. They're supposed to be insulated. When they're not insulated, that's when you get the burning and the stinging pain and that kind of thing. So I think that there's something in my neck. There's a nerve area. I don't think it's a pinched nerve from my vertebrae, because the chiropractor said that was okay. I don't know if it's like has to do anything with Lyme disease, like if it's cartilage being eaten by the Lyme spirochetes, or cartilage damage, or I'm not. My theory is just that. I'm sorry, I gotta go back to the spasm that developed while I was on Cipro. It's like there's one person messaged me on Facebook the other day, so I'm really interested to talk to her, that said she had a spasm too in her pelvic floor. But other than that, I haven't met anybody with this condition. It's kind of like that's about how fast it is, like that. I don't really feel it, you know, when I'm standing that much, but when I lay down, I feel it, and if I kind of like tune in for it, I know it's still going, because, you know, after 2 years, your brain kind of like, just like, you know, it doesn't pay attention to it. You know, when it first started, like the first 2 or 3 months, it was driving me insane. You know, it was like I just could constantly feel it, and I know it's always there, because the way I check for it is, now this is the most bizarre thing. You know, only Cipro can do this to people. Just create these bizarre, you know, bizarre nerve conditions and bizarre, you know, bizarre like painful states that people can be in by. It's just, you know, just like those, you know, those snowballs they give you for Christmas. You know, the glass where you just shake them and it's like snowing? That's like Cipro does to your fucking DNA. It's like, there you go. Let's see what happens. You know, it's like a variety pack of like fucked up shit that it can do to a human being. It's like rolling the dice. It's like, you don't know, man. This is like all the different combinations of DNA there are, you know, like billions and billions. It shakes that up, and it's like, okay, what kind of fucking mutant condition can I create in a human being? You know, what kind of crazy pain can I develop for them that causes their entire body to just kind of like degenerate in this weird way? You know, like being fucking exposed to radiation or something like that. But anyways, that spasm is the thing I think that's holding me back from recovering, because my theory is that this is just a theory. Because when I was at the chiropractor, they had me on this thing where you lean over and you basically lean over in this chair, and they put these like little pads on you. They're like little heat pads, and they send like a little pulsating current through your body. And you know, it felt kind of good, but the guy jacked it up, the electricity, you know, the level of it, too much. And what happened was, it was like on my shoulder, and my shoulder started to just start twitching, you know, and it got me thinking, like, that's kind of how your body works. That's how your nerves work, is like through bodily, like electricity, like the current, like the current was just causing my shoulder to twitch on its own. So if you think about it, that's kind of how the way your body controls your nerves and everything, is through like positive and negative charges, you know, electricity, you know, that's just my theory. And I think that when your sheaths go away from your nerves and you lose insulation, you're more susceptible to being controlled by things that aren't supposed to, you know, like, I think that's why my shoulder was twitching at such a low level, is because my nerves don't have as much coating on them. So when there's like a current, like electricity or whatever, it causes the nerves to excite and stuff. Like when I would have when I used to have a cell phone, every time I would put it, you know, after I got floxed, if I would put it up to my ear, I would start feeling like this crawling sensation. You know, that's your nerves. Your nerves, I think, are more susceptible. You know, after you've been floxed, your nerves are more susceptible to everything. And I think that's what is happening with my spasm, is my spasm has been going for so long. In order for you to feel something, you know, what happens, like when you get touched, like if I touch you know, just somebody touches you. Like, what is that? What is that? How do you feel? You know, it's like, you have your nerve cells, but what is that? You know, your nerves, how did it goes to your brain. That's how it registers, you know, that something touched you. Well, how does it go to your brain? Well, there's the little receptor cells or whatever, and your nerve cells, everything is all connected to your to a bigger nerve, to a main nerve, and it goes up into your arm or goes to your spine, and then from your spine goes up into your brain. So what is that? You know, that's a current. You know, it's a form of electricity. It's got to be, you know, it's got to conduct something. You know, so there's some kind of impulse, electrical impulse, every time you feel something, every time that goes to your brain. So in order for you to feel something, there's current involved. There's current through that nerve, you know, through that conduit or whatever. And I think that with my spasm has been going non-stop for 2.5 years. So that means that there's been current, like, going through my body, like the receptor current or whatever, has been going through my body for like 2.5 years. That means that through my, whatever nerve connects to that pelvic floor area, you know, whatever pathway that is, it's eventually going to go up through the neck, through the spine. And I think that that's why I'm starting to get this pain here, is because that nerve path is so sick of firing, or it's just so used from firing that the sheath on it is just, you know, it's starting to wear, and the sheath is just starting to degenerate. And so there's interference, there's, you know, stuff is coming into the nerve that isn't supposed to be there, and that's why I'm getting all this pain. So I don't think a chiropractor can help me. You know, I've had theories before, you know, and I've been, you know, wrong, like when I thought everything was Lyme disease and it was just being fluffed. But that's my theory, you know. That's why I think Cipro does so much damage to a lot of people, is because it penetrates into your nerves and destroys the coating for a lot of people. And once that coating is gone, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think it doesn't really come back. It might come back some, but it doesn't feel like it in my neck, you know, because this is a thing that's been gradually getting worse and worse, and it's not going away. So I don't know what to do. You know, I'm not going to take a pill for it, because I'm never going to take a synthetic pill again in my life, because I know they don't do anything. They just try to mask, you know, they just block pain, you know, block signals to your brain. That's all they do. But the pain is still there, you know, the condition is still happening. So I don't know what to do, you know. I don't even know if I somehow stopped the spasm in my pelvic floor, if it would like heal up or anything, you know. It might be just beyond the point of healing. And maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion, but that's just the way I feel. You know, your body isn't meant to like feel something constantly and never be able to like be at rest. Like your peripheral nervous system should be able to be at rest at night. You know, when you sleep, it shouldn't be, there should be no movement, you know, obviously except for your heart. But you should just be able to just completely relax. And I think that's when you recover. That's when, to some extent, you're able to heal any little damages or whatever that are impurities that are going on in your nervous system and stuff like that, are able to rest and regenerate. And I think I haven't had that. You know, I've never been able to have that since Cipro, is that ability to regenerate in that fashion. And that's just this neck thing. I think the spasm also affects my gastrointestinal effectiveness, because it's linked in. I think that the muscle that's constantly spasming is kind of linked into motility in my colon. I think the motility effectiveness in my colon would be a lot better if that spasm wasn't constantly firing, because I think it kind of confuses my bowels. I mean, of course I still go to the bathroom, so I know, you know, the basic thing is working, but I never feel empty. I never feel like, okay, I just went to the bathroom and now I feel totally, you know, cleansed out. So, you know, other than that, you know, other than my neck, I'm able to walk a little better now, and I'm able to, my arms are a little stronger. So some things do get better. I just feel like I have this one tripped out thing, and it's never going to stop. You know, it's never going to, why would the spasm stop if it hasn't stopped for 2.5 years? I mean, 2.5 years. 2.5 years of something twitching. There's something functionally just completely effed, you know? And it's so frustrating, you know? It's so frustrating. Like, that I've got this one thing wrong. And if it wasn't for that, you know, I think, you know, I could live the rest of my life. But the way it is now, I'm not sure whether I want to live the rest of my life. You know, in the short term, yeah, I want to live the rest of my life. I mean, I want to live right now in the short term, but when pain starts increasing, you know, especially this type of pain. I've never had like a sting, burn type of pain. I've had more muscle aches and muscle strains, and knee will hurt and stuff like that, but I've never had any burning or stinging pain like this, except for on my skin. I've had stuff like that, but I've never had internal burning like this or stinging. So that's kind of a bummer, you know, because I was looking forward to maybe recovering and forming some sort of shell of existence, but I'm not trying to degenerate. You know, degenerating is no fun. Like, I don't want to have a body that's just slowly degenerating, and I got this sting in my neck all the time, and it's just getting worse, and because I know this twitch is like constantly firing. So I mean, if anybody knows, you know, the only thing I haven't tried is smoking weed, you know, because I know that would calm the nervous system. Or maybe getting like a really good sex toy, you know, to go up in there as far as I could and, like, you know, push against the spasm and see if it could get it to stop, you know. Because I'm not going to get an injection of Botox or anything like that to, like, kill the muscle or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that. You know, so, you know, other than that, you know, I just been losing at poker, and I did win last night, so that was good. But mostly I just been losing. You know, I lost like $2,000. I was thinking about getting a dog, but the neck pain has kind of dampened that idea. You know, I still might want to get a dog, but if my neck starts getting worse, I don't want to, like, you know, get a dog and then fucking be in all this pain and not be able to enjoy the dog, you know what I mean? But, yeah. You know. Thank you. Thank you, Cipro. You know, the other stuff I could handle. You know, okay, I got a weak body, I got weak knees, you know, but I could still walk. You know, I can still walk. I can still even, like, jog a little bit, you know, I can, you know, that doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt, you know. That kind of hurts. But I can handle all this, you know what I mean? Oh, my hip hurts a little bit, you know. Oh, you know, oh, I kind of feel stuffed up, okay, all the time. Well, then just don't eat as much. You know, I could live like, I could just be like, well, I'll just eat like a little bit every day, you know, because you look at me. See how skinny I am? I'm skinny, but I feel completely stuffed up. You know, isn't that bizarre? And I eat big meals. You know, I'll eat like 2 sandwiches, chips, and a cookie. You know, and it's like, I don't gain weight. You know, I can't gain weight because if I eat more than that, I just feel like sick. Like I can't. My stomach just feels like I'll feel like it's just gonna come back up. You know, like not nauseous, but it just feels like there's all this pressure, and it's like it can't hold anymore. You know. But you know, I'm just gonna make this like a longer video because I do so few videos. I'm just gonna do long videos. You know. So I know there's other people out there, you know, that have been floxed and they're in more pain than me. You know, everybody has their own pain level. You know, I've always had like a very, very, very low pain tolerance. Like, I just have no pain tolerance. Like, when I would get headaches, I would just be like, oh my god, you know, like moaning, like, oh, you know, fucking sinus headache. Now they're like nothing. Like, I mean, it does make things worse, but like, I wish that all I had was headaches, you know. But I don't feel like I'm the kind of person that can live in pain, you know. I just always been like, kind of like a mama's boy, like, wuss, you know. So that's why I'm like, people, you know, there's people in much more pain than me. They're probably going, fuck, your neck stings a little bit every once in a while. Like, I'm fucking on fire, you know, like, my whole body is on fire. My brain is on fire. I have fucking ringing in my ears constantly. I'm dizzy, like, 24/7, or I can't even raise my arm, like, you know, my tendons feel like they're gonna rip every time I move. And it's like, yeah, I mean, everybody has their own line in the sand, and mine is sort of like constant pain, you know. I don't like constant pain, and I feel like nobody has the right to tell somebody what their level of pain is. I think if somebody has been in a lot of pain for a significant amount of time, like years, it's their right to do whatever they want with their life, you know, and people should understand that. And it's kind of like the honorable thing to do, you know. It's like, it takes a lot of courage, you know, to end your own life, you know. It's, you know, people look at it as like, people, especially, you know, healthy people, they look at it as like, oh, well, they took the easy way out, you know, and all this stuff. But people who have been in a lot of pain for a lot of years, they understand, you know. You know. So you don't listen to all the people that are healthy, that think they know, you know. Like I used to think I knew. And the funny thing is, like, you don't realize it, but in the world, a lot of the mental problems, a lot of, like, in our society, a lot of the mental problems are from the pills, okay? Because as soon as somebody gets a little depressed, you know, what do? You know, what do? They say, oh, you're depressed, you need an antidepressant. And what are the antidepressants? They're fucking poison. They're fucking poison. They're designed for you to be on them for life and to slowly kill you and fuck your brain up and make you even more depressed. That's the truth, okay? Every fucking pill out there is fucking poison, okay? It's got fucking fluoride in it, or some crazy toxic shit, okay? Alright, so a lot of suicide is from the pills, okay? So there isn't a lot of suicide that is purely from a mental condition that has no pills involved, or it's all induced, and that there isn't any physical pain involved. Most suicide, most of it, you know, I'm not saying all of it, you know, there might be somebody, their wife dumped them, or, you know, their girlfriend slept with somebody else and videotaped it, you know, or slept with their best friend or something and videotaped it, and it was just like this crazy sex session, you know, and you know, they might, that, you know, that type of thing happens, you know, or they lost like all their money in the stock market, and stuff like that, you know. That stuff does happen. But I think most suicide is people who want to live, but they're just sick of being in pain for prolonged, constant periods of time. And most of that pain is caused by synthetic pills. Okay? Synthetic pills are the biggest murderers of people. Okay? It's the new Holocaust, is synthetic pills. You know, you don't need a concentration camp anymore. You know, because you can kill people and they don't even know it. And you make a bunch of money off of it. That's what this country is. That's what runs this country. That's why this country is so fucked up, is because the greed and the corporations control the government, control the media. So nobody knows about it, you know, except for a few people, a small percentage of the population. But the majority of the population is brainwashed by fear and patriotism, and, you know, the media and TV and food. You know, food, pretty much all food is slightly poisonous, you know, but that's nothing. That's fine. You know, you want to have a donut? I fucking have a donut I have a cookie every once in a while. I don't, you know, I would have a Coke if I could, but you know, the food is a setup. The food is a setup for the food is like a jab, okay? The food is like a jab, and the synthetic pill is boom. That's what kills people, is the synthetic pills. Slowly. They'll kill you slowly because they want customers, you know, so they can give you more synthetic pills. And that's the biggest evil to me, you know. That's the biggest evil in the world. In the entire world, in the entire history of mankind now, more people have been killed by synthetic pills, okay? Synthetic pills, than anything else. They're the biggest murderers in the history of the world, in the history of this universe. You know, we're the only life on this universe. The biggest killer of life in this universe is synthetic pills. So, you know, among the synthetic pills, the #1 hitman is the fluoroquinolone antibiotics. You know, there's other pills that have, you know, killed people, obviously, and been recalled, like whoops, you know, we killed too many people. But we made a lot of money. We made a lot of money off of it, but we killed too many people. And, you know, you can only suppress people dying from pills for so long before, you know, the word kind of gets out, you know, this is killing a lot of people, you know, so you got to recall those, because you can't keep profiting on them. But the #1 killer, #1 most poisonous, is the fluoroquinolone antibiotics. Because they're the only antibiotics that target DNA. Like, that's how they kill, is they fuck up DNA. Well, guess whose DNA they can fuck up? They can fuck up your DNA. Okay? You think it cares? You know, you think a pill has a conscience? It fucks up your DNA. The DNA, whatever cells it can penetrate. It'll fuck up the cell's DNA. You know, well, what can it penetrate? Well, I don't know. It depends on the person. It can go to your brain, it can go to your muscles, or maybe the person's body is more resilient and is able to detoxify and recognize it as poison, the poison that it is, and it isn't allowed to penetrate. But if you take enough of it, eventually it's going to penetrate, and it's going to fuck up your DNA like your DNA is a big jigsaw puzzle, and it just takes one piece of the puzzle and says, whew, and it's gone. That piece is gone for the rest of your life. So you still have like most of your DNA, but it can't reverse. Like that's the way you age. Is your cells make copies of each other, but each copy is slightly more degraded than the previous copy. You know. And if your DNA starts getting fucked up in your cells, well, your cells are going to make shittier and shittier copies, right? So whatever cells they are, whether it be nerve cells, muscle cells, they're going to degrade, you know? So it's like super aging. That's what the pill does to you. It just fucking super ages everything, you know? I can't really classify it more than that, because to do that to somebody, it all depends where it goes, what area is affected, how much you took, how resilient you are. Like, I don't know. All I know is I've talked to so many people and I've seen so many people, you know, on the boards and all that stuff, that's just all these different bizarre conditions that it can do anything. And the way that kind of makes sense to me is DNA destruction. Like, if you mess up somebody's DNA, you know, you can't get that back, and it can just, it just can create any kind of condition you want, you know. Your DNA is never supposed to be tampered, you know. You can't get that back, and I feel like that's what it's done to my nerves down in that pelvic floor. Is somewhere in there it's done some kind of damage that my nerve doesn't work correctly, and it's constantly firing. So I'm going to talk to this lady and see if she has any ideas, or if anything's worked for her. So I hope that my neck gets better, and I hope everyone out there improves. I want to give some people hope that are suffering, that some things do get better. I just think that some things don't, unfortunately, you know. Like when an athlete breaks their knee, you know, their knee is never quite the same, and they can't play anymore. You know, they just can't perform as well as they used to. Once they break that knee, it doesn't matter that it still works and they can still run it. It's just not quite the same because of the destruction. You know, the cell death and the cell destruction cannot reverse, cannot heal completely, because the code, some of the code is just gone. And that's what Cipro does. It destroys your code. So anyways, have a good Saturday, everyone. I'll try to make another video soon. Take care.